Hello everyone! On this video, we are going to build a website for one of my client projects. I will share with you my thought process on how I built the website based from the design that was provided to me. The tools that I will be using on this video are Figma for website design and Webflow for website development. Alright, that's it for the introduction. Let's get right into it. Usually, I start my website development projects by analyzing the website design that was given to me. So let's do that right now. On your screen, I'm sharing the website design for the Calendoodle website. So let's start analyzing the design. So let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, right off the bat, we can see the logo here at top for Calendoodle. And right underneath that, there's this Instagram link. So let's move forward. So these elements that you can see here in the center, they are a bit overwhelming to look at first. So what I like to do in here is break them down into small bit pieces so that they are not overwhelming to look at. So the first thing that I think we should look here is this big white box at the middle. So we can see in here that there's a month, which is July, and there's also the day, which is 18th. Then we can also see in here that there are texts with different colors for different lines. And some of them are overlapping outside of this big white box. Like you can see in here in the top left portion is the letter T is outside of this white box, and the IN on this bottom left, and on the bottom right, the AR and dot is outside. So now we can start looking at white boxes at the back. So let's move this out of the way for now so that we can see what's going on in there. Okay, so we can see in here that there are many individual white boxes, and they all have like the month and then also the date. And there's different illustrations per white box that you can see in here. So how this works is that these illustrations or these white boxes will move from right to left, showing the different illustrations for different dates. So we'll get into that functionality a little bit later. So let's return the original design. Now it's time to look at the navigation at the bottom part that you can see in here. So let's zoom in a little bit. So in here, we can see on the left side, there's the Calendoodle logo again, and a short text, a daily art movement. And on the right side, there are two buttons, the about and the drops. So the way it works is when you click the about, it should show this one, which you can see right here. So when I click the about, these elements or this information should show inside the navigation. And as you can see in here, this is Brendan, the co-founder of Calendoodle, and he is the main person who is creating these amazing illustrations. Okay, so here at the bottom, this is how it would look like when I click the drops button in here. So it has the latest releases for the stickers that he have. And there's also some links, sticker links and shirts link. If we take a closer look in here, we will see that this one is a little bit different. This second one, which has a lighter violet background. So this means that this is what it would look like when the mouse goes over this element. So in our term, it's called a hover. So when you hover on this element, it should look like this. It will have a light violet background, and the button in here will turn into a violet color, and the arrow will point to the top right position. Okay, so now that we have analyzed the design, we can start building the website. Okay, so now we are inside of my Webflow account, and I just created a Webflow project for Calendoodle. So as you can see, there's nothing in this right now. It's just a blank template. Now we can start working our way with the Calendoodle project. So let's go back to the design. The way I approach my website development is that I start at the topmost portion of the design, and then I slowly go down until I reach the most bottom part of the design. I really like to approach it this way because I want to have order on things. One of my mistakes when I was still new at website development is that I randomly start building things, and eventually what happens is I get overwhelmed at the end, and sometimes I miss building things, and it's a very difficult way to build a website. So I highly recommend that you do not do that. Like I said, I like to start at the topmost portion of the design. So let's zoom in here. So let's start by getting the Calendoodle logo. All right, so let's start building this out. We have now built the top portion of the design, which is the logo and the Instagram link in here, as you can see. Now we can move forward with the next elements to build. So this is really overwhelming to look at first, but we will break it down into small bit pieces so that we will not be overwhelmed. I like to approach this by looking at some of the things that are similar in designs. And the first thing that I notice here is that this big white box in front, it has the same design elements as the white boxes at the back of it. The only thing that is different is the text and the illustrations. And what we can do in here is we can build this big white box first, and then after that we can replicate some of the things that we've done already in here so that our work will be much more easier for the white boxes at the back. Okay, so why don't we do that right now? So let's start by building this big white box in front first. Okay, so now we have built the text within the big white box in front. So now the next thing that we need to focus on are the white boxes at the back. So like what we did before, let's move this thing on the side. And then let's start by working our way on these white boxes in here. So what we need to do in here is duplicate some of the things that we have built on this big white box and then adjust it to have the illustration instead of this text. And what's great in here is once we've done building this one element, we can just copy paste it and just change the illustration and then our work will be done. So let's do that now. All right, there you go. So all that's left for me to do is have these white boxes to go at the back of this big white box up front. So let's do that now. All right, perfect. So now what I need to do in here is have these white boxes at the back to move from right to left and have that functionality where it seems like an endless carousel. So let me do that functionality now. All right, finally. Okay, so now this is what I meant by these cards going from right to left, and it has the effect of like an endless scroll. Okay, now that we've done that functionality, we can now move forward with the navigation, which is this last part that you can see in here. So let's start building this one. All right. So now we have done building the first of the navigation here. So now what we need to do next is to build the things that would show when you click the about and the things that would show when you click the drops. So they will be this one and this one. So let's start by building the about first. We have now completed the about navigation that should show when you click on the about button. So for now, let's hide this one and let's work towards the drops design. Okay, so let's work on this one next. All right, so now we are done with the drops design. So what we need to do next is to create the functionality so that when I click on the about, this this one will show, and when I click on the drops, this one will show. And they cannot show at the same time. They have to show one at a time, depends on what button the user will click. So let's work on that now. All right. Now we have a fully functioning navigation. Awesome. We have now completed building the website based from the design that was provided by the client. And if you want to look at this on your local machine, I will provide the link on the description below. I hope that you enjoy and got value out of this video. If you'd like to see more of these kinds of video on this channel, please let me know in the comments below. Alright, that's it for me. Thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing, and I will see you on the next video.